All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to everyone on the South Shore's favorite podcast, the Part-Time Pod. I'm your host, Tyler Pinero, and my co-host, Will, is actually running a little behind right now. But that's okay, because our very special guest is here, Mr. Inangelo. Ian, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fabtabulous. So, we're just going to start it off right away. I just saw a post from you that said you went to 7 games in 7 days. I just want to hear about that whole experience and, how crazy that was.
Yeah, so I didn't actually plan that to happen. I knew I was going to one or two of those games, but it just kind of happened in the moment, and I didn't really realize it until yesterday. But yeah, so I didn't realize it was 7 games in 7 days, but it was cool. It was awesome.
So what was it like experiencing a G League playoff game? I saw you at the main Celtics last night. Obviously, it wasn't the result we all wanted, but how was that environment from a different Celtics game?
It was pretty electric, honestly. I don't know if you've ever been to a main Celtics game, but the stadium up there, it's not the biggest stadium ever, but it is a really compact stadium. So, and the fact that nobody left the stadium. They were down by 20 the entire game, and nobody left the stadium the last 2 minutes of the game. So it was a different atmosphere, but everybody was excited throughout the entire game, even though they were losing.
That just shows the level that us Celtics fans are at compared to other people, because I feel other G League teams, people wouldn't stay that long if it was a blowout, but everyone was there having a good time, and it was just a good overall experience. So we got playoffs coming up, obviously. Tonight we got Lakers, Pelicans, and then is it Warriors, Kings?
Yeah.
What are we thinking about those games tonight? Who's your winners? Who's your losers?
I don't know. I'd like to see the Kings beat the Warriors, but I don't know if it's going to happen.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know. I think I'm still going to rock with the Kings on that one. And then Lakers, Pelicans. I think the Pelicans can beat the Lakers.
I think the home court advantage of the Pelicans is going to really help them, because obviously Pelicans fans are through the roof. You've seen people in New Orleans. They love their teams. Man,
oh, yeah.
Do we know if Anthony Davis is playing tonight?
He probably is. I don't think he would be out.
Because I heard there was something up with his legs or something like that. I don't know. Some sort of injury. And
I don't know. I haven't seen anything.
I think the Warriors Kings is going to be must-see TV. It's unfortunate.
Oh, yeah.
It's unfortunate that the Kings had to even be here, because their roster just got completely dismantled at the end of the season. Obviously, losing Herter for the whole year sucks, and then not being able to have Monk until what did they say, second round, something like that. That's obviously a huge blow. So, do you think that's going to really affect the Kings this year, or for this game, or do you think that they'll be able to compete really well with the Warriors still?
I don't know. Monk is a pretty big piece of their offense, especially coming off the bench. I think he should be 6th man of the year, but I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I'm just hoping that, I don't know. I'm not a fan of the Warriors, so I'm hoping the Kings are able to beat them.
Yeah, I'm not a fan either. And then on the East, is the East playing tomorrow, I think?
Yes, I think so.
So 2 teams we both don't like are going to be playing for the 7th seed. Which team would you want to lose more, I guess we could say?
I don't know. I mean, I guess I don't care, because it's gonna end up. I feel like it's gonna end up being Celtics Heat in the first round, regardless of what happens. So honestly, I feel like Philly is gonna win.
Yep.
Not really. I mean, but honestly, I think Miami has a good chance of winning against Philly. But I don't know. It just feels like it's destined to be Celtics Miami. So I had a feeling it's gonna be the Sixers winning.
I totally agree with you, and then I think I have a little bit of confidence in the Hawks, beating Chicago and then hopefully beating Miami, but I don't have a lot of confidence. I just have an E little bit right now. And then obviously we got Bucks Pacers is going to be a great series, and then we don't know who Knicks are playing. Then is the other one? It's Cavs Orlando. So what are we thinking on Bucks Pacers and then Cavs Orlando?
I don't know. I just saw that Giannis is going to be out for the first game or two of that series. So
yeah, I saw that.
It should be interesting to see. I think the Pacers have a chance. I'm hoping they have a chance, because it would be funny if they beat the Bucks in the first round. But we'll have to see what happens with that one. And then Orlando and Cleveland. I kind of want to see Orlando win.
Me too.
I feel like that would be fun to see Orlando in the second round.
I feel like that series could definitely go 7-2. Because
for sure.
I believe Celtics, if they make it, they'll have the winner of that series, right? I think they can compete with both teams really well. I just don't want to play Dean Wade, because Dean Wade just terrifies me.
Oh, yeah.
On the West side, who is it? We got Minnesota and Phoenix is one.
Yeah.
And then what's the other one? I don't remember.
Clippers, Mavericks, I think.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. So how are we feeling about those?
I don't know. I don't really believe in the Clippers that much. I've never been really high on them.
I
So,
don't either.
I feel like the Mavericks can beat them in a 7-game series. And then Timberwolves, Suns, I just don't know if the Suns have enough to really beat the Timberwolves. So, I guess I'd pick Minnesota.
I think the Suns, I think they're just missing like an actual point guard. Because to me, you have too many guys that are just looking to score and be ball dominant all the time, and you don't have a guy that can like balance all that, like a Mike Conley or like a Rondo or someone like that. It's just you either have Beal or Booker or Durant taking the ball up and trying to find a shot instead of having someone to try and set them up. And then
Pretty much.
And then Minnesota, I hear Cat might be back, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
So I
think that.
If he comes back, I think that's gonna just like knock Phoenix's chances even lower, because Cat's such like a big part of that team. Even though Gobert's obviously like their defensive like face, Cat still makes them like so much better offensively because he can space the floor so well. And I like how now that they're finally starting to see how they can make Cat and Gobert work, because we saw last year when the trade first happened, it just didn't look like it was going to be the right move at all.
Yeah, for sure. It's interesting to see how Minnesota has been able to kind of do that, because, like you said, it was not working last year. But I guess you have to give credit to them, and I think it's going to be important for Anthony Edwards to go off too, because if he's going off, then the Timberwolves are going to be real scary.
Yeah, I liked seeing him drop 50 at the end of the season. That's like a good little burst for Minnesota to have going into the postseason. And so to come back to the Celtics, obviously we saw them lose 2 in a row to Milwaukee and New York. Did those games like really matter to you? Because I didn't really care, honestly, what happened in those games. Because I was thinking like just bench the 5. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I didn't really care, honestly. I don't really take too much stock into games at the end of the season anyway. Yep. They locked up the 1 seed in March, so it's not like they really have a whole lot to play for at this point in the season. So you might as well just rest, and if the starters are just giving it like, I don't know, 75% out there, then sure, why not? just as long as everyone stays healthy, that's all that matters.
I don't think since the day we locked up the 1 seed in the league, I don't think the starters played in the fourth quarter once. Like the whole starting 5, I don't think they played a single minute together. Maybe not even in the second half. Definitely the fourth quarter.
Probably not, honestly. It wouldn't have surprised me. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting because like everyone knows this, that it's not really what matters that the Celtics do in the regular season. It's what matters what they do in the playoffs. So
yeah. So
we're going to have to do.
we just saw, like, this literally happened like 20 minutes ago. Blake Griffin has retired officially. So
I saw that.
Were you advocating for Blake to come back this year to like be a part of the bench vibes, or do you think he made the right decision just not doing anything, like focusing on his life and now retiring?
Yeah, I mean, it would have been fun to have him back again, because he was pretty funny last year, and it was entertaining having him on the team. But I could see if they didn't want to bring him back, or if he just didn't want to come back in general. So I assume the Celtics would have brought him back if he asked. So
I think so too.
But I don't know. He obviously just wanted to retire, and he wanted to live the rest of his life. So can't really fault him for that.
I saw you interview Drew Holiday, so that must have been like an unreal experience. Like, what was that like? Like, did you know that was going to happen like right away, or was that just like it was given to you in the moment and you had to take it?
Yeah, like, I mean, I had like I knew beforehand that I was going to end up interviewing him, but just like there's a difference between like preparing for it and then it actually happening. So like when it was happening, like I was just trying my best to, be professional and just trying to, not be like super kind of crazy nervous about it, because, talk to an NBA player all the time. So
yeah. But when I've heard like Drew talk in interviews, like when he was on Draymond's show, he's like a smart player, and he knows like he's really friendly, knows what to do like when he's in an interview, makes it like all go by smooth. So when you were like talking to him, was he like real easygoing with like answering you and like making sure it was like an easy experience?
Oh yeah, he was awesome. Honestly, I don't know. He probably knew that I was probably nervous, and I don't really talk to NBA players often. So, but yeah, he was a great guy. He answered every question like really well, and like it was like a 5-minute interview, but it like he was able to explain a lot like with all his answers to the questions. So it was really cool.
So we obviously saw him take the big pay cut. Now, do you think that opens up the doors for the Celtics to not only re-sign Derek White, but maybe bring Tillman back too? Because Tillman's on an expiring deal this year, and he's obviously increased what he's worth from a $4 million salary. So do you think we'll be able to take both of them now?
I mean, yeah. It's kind of weird. The salary cap in the NBA is really weird. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, technically the Celtics have the rights to Derek White in the first place, so they can sign him to whatever contract. I think it's like 4 years, 160 is what they can sign him to, like maximum. So I feel like they will.
I hope so.
I don't really know too much about off-season stuff right now. Honestly, I'm kind of locked in on the playoffs, but yep. I feel like they'll definitely find a way to probably re-sign Tillman and Derek White for sure.
Because when I saw that we traded for Tillman, I was very excited because I knew like what he brought to the table defensively. Because I see in all his games, no matter like the game, who he's playing with, he doesn't score a lot, but he keeps his people on lock. So I was saying if we play like a Philly or a Milwaukee, I'd want to see him guard like Embiid and Giannis because I feel like he can hold them down better. But if we're playing them also, I wouldn't mind Al Horford guarding them because, Al Horford he brings fear into the eyes of the opponent.
True. Yeah.
So, like, would you like to see Tillman, like, taking on these tough matchups, or do you want to keep it to, like, Porzingis guarding the big fives and having, like, Tatum guard them on the perimeter or however it goes?
I don't really know what his role is going to be heading into the playoffs, if I'm being honest. I feel like they'll probably run with, like, their regular big rotation that they normally do. They'll probably just kind of spam Porzingis and Horford pretty much the whole time. But I feel like if you need like a third center coming off the bench, you'd probably go with Tillman or Cornette. But it's pretty much just going to be matchup based, in my opinion, depending on who they play. If you play a guy like Bam Adebayo in Miami or Giannis in Milwaukee, like maybe you want a guy like Tillman out there more than a guy like Cornette, who if you're facing like I don't know, Cleveland or something, then I mean, obviously you can probably have Tillman out in Cleveland too, but I don't know. It's going to be matchup based, and it's going to be whatever Joe Mazzulla wants to do.
So we saw that, like, there were spurts throughout the season where the bench guys were having, like, huge impacts. Like, Hauser, like, was on pace to break the three-point record before he rolled his ankle. Pritchard played all 82 games, dropped back-to-back career highs. Do you think those guys, like the Pritchards and the Hausers and Jaden Springers even, are going to see, like, a big-time role in this playoffs, or, like, who is, who won't?
I mean, obviously, the top six. It's going to be Tatum, Brown, Holiday, White, Porzingis, and Horford. Yep. Like, those guys are going to play no matter what. And like I was saying before, it's pretty much just going to be based on the matchup. Like, the situation at hand, it just kind of depends on who's hot at the right time, and it's it's all gonna depend on who they play. Honestly, it's gonna be matchup based. It's pretty much just gonna happen in the moment. So it's kind of hard to predict who's gonna come off the bench like consistently. But I would say I would assume that Peyton Pritchard will play a lot. I would assume that Sam Hauser is gonna play a lot. So I have a feeling those two guys are gonna be like legitimate pieces off the bench. Just it's all gonna depend on the situation.
Obviously, I like watching Pritchard play also, but I feel like Hauser, he's really good if he's hot. If Sam Hauser's hot, he'll burn the house down. Because we saw him drop like 11 threes in three quarters, something crazy like that. So if Hauser can get going in this playoffs, I think he's going to be a huge piece just to the bench to like give either like Jalen or D. White or Tatum some like rest. And
yeah, for sure.
I think, though, my favorite part of the offense, and you can have a different one, but it's when they like throw it to Porzingis in the post and he's got a mismatch and he just pivots a couple times and he just drops it in over the dude's head. That just makes me happy. That just makes me happy watching it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I love that play that they're able to do in the mid range for Porzingis. It's so awesome. It's mostly because he's just taller than everyone he's guarding. So the fact that he can just shoot over everybody is probably the best thing about it.
There was a time where I was sitting at a game and we were like right next to the players' tunnel. I have no idea how I got these tickets, by the way. They just happened to be there. And Porzingis, like, I was like watching the dude shoot, and then Porzingis came out and he walked by me And I don't think I've ever been starstruck before, but this dude was so tall, and I was like looking so high up at him. I was like, oh my God, you are not a real human. Then he high-fived me, and then he just went and shoot.
That's awesome. That's so cool. Yeah, watching Porzingis like warm up and stuff in practice for the first time was wild. Because like when I first saw him like warm up for a game this season, he was like just splashing threes from like half court like consistently. It's like I don't really know how this like 7'3" guy's doing this. So
There's just a unicorn. And that clip of him like embracing the Boston crowd has been going around. Everyone's saying like Porzingis was built to be here. I got to witness that in person because when he came out, everybody loved him and was embracing him, and he just put his hands up like, yeah, let's go, guys, we love it. So I just love that he's here and that he loves being here. And I really think that he'll consider staying here for the rest of his career. If it like the money's right, every situation's right, I think he will.
yeah, I think there's a good chance that he's going to be here for a long time, and I agree with you. I'm happy that he is happy to be here and he wants to be in Boston and he wants to win here because that's going to be, that's the main goal.
So obviously getting Porzingis came at a heavy price. So when I saw that the first trade got canceled, I was like super sad. And then I saw that they found a new trade, but all it said was Porzingis was coming here. When that tweet from Woj came out that said the Celtics are trading Smart to Memphis, did your heart just sink in and like did time freeze like it did for me?
Yeah, I feel like it did for everybody, honestly. Because we didn't expect Marcus Smart to get traded. It kind of came out of nowhere. But yeah, that was rough. But yeah, I mean, we've seen what it's done this season. So like, it still sucks that Marcus Smart's not here anymore. But I'm still happy with what we got right now.
That moment was like, in a movie when like a grenade goes off and then like all you hear is just the ringing. That's literally what it was. Like I see that tweet and like time just froze for me, and I was like, what? And I just stared at my phone for a few seconds. I'm like, there's no way this just happened. No, I'm dreaming, right? Refreshed a couple times. I see like KOT4Q tweets, not the heart and soul. So it was a rough time, but, Porzingis happened. Then we're like, oh my God, we got this crazy big three. And then the Dame trade happens. And and I'm like, oh no. The East just got a lot more competitive. So we had to wait like a week for everything to finish up with that. And then I remember sitting in the living room reading this. Holiday gets traded to Boston. What was your opinion on that?
Okay, so when the Dame trade first happened, I knew that the Trailblazers weren't going to keep Drew Holiday. Like that was going to be obvious. But I also knew that I felt like it was the perfect chance for the Celtics to trade for Drew Holiday. I remember like the day of it or the day after it happened, I was saying that the Celtics needed to trade for Drew Holiday, and then it happened, and I'm like, yeah, of course that was going to happen. Like it kind of felt like it was bound to happen in the first place. But it sucked trading Robert Williams though. Yeah. I was a big fan of Robert Williams, but yeah, kind of like the Marcus Smart thing. I mean, they're 64 win team this year, so as much as it sucks that they're gone, I'm happy that Holiday and Porzingis are here.
It sucked getting rid of Brogdon too, but he was a good fit, but I don't think he was like the perfect fit for us because let's be honest, Brogdon's a starter in the league. Like he shouldn't have been a six man, but we saw just won the award with ease. So I think he got a better chance in Portland, and I'm happy a contender did not trade for him because I kept hearing that he was connected to like the Lakers, he was connected to Milwaukee. I'm just very happy that no one like went after him because that would have sucked for like the league purposes. So I like that Brogdon stuck around in Portland, and then all the other things happened with like Anthony Simons obviously being pissed off with all that and like their record. And so I want to get into like the awards a little bit because my co-host tonight he's on his way here. He's gonna be a little late, but that's okay. We improvise. We had some like award predictions before the season, and then we did them like halfway through the year. So I'll say an award, and I want to like hear what your take is on it. So we'll start off like we'll go rookie of the year.
I think it's Wemby.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty awesome.
I was just testing you there. So now we'll make it a little easier. Six man.
Six man. I am Malik Monk. Although I don't know, I've been seeing that Naz Reid is starting to get more first place votes. So we'll see what happens. But I still think Malik Monk should be six man.
I think he should get it, but I think Naz Reid's getting a lot closer because Monk's been out for like the past couple weeks, and that's obviously hurt him because Naz Reid's had more time to show that he can still do what he can do. And I think Naz Reid makes Minnesota even more lethal because now they have like three legit big men instead of just the 2 All-Stars, Gobert and Cat.
Yeah, like I see the Naz Reid, but like at the same time, like it's kind of weird to. I always felt it weird when like a 6 man of the year like started like a bunch of games during the season.
Yeah.
But like whatever. I think
that's why Poole didn't win it. I don't think because Poole started a lot of games that year. So
yeah.
my co-host, he actually might have had the worst 6 man of the year pick of all time for like the preseason. He picked Chris.
Okay.
He picked Chris Paul.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't bad in theory, but it just
it aged poorly.
It did. It aged quite poorly.
His preseason.
I think I had Malik Monk in the year too, so
did
that was kind of crazy.
That and Rookie of the Year were the only ones I was accurate on. But I feel like everybody knew who Rookie of the Year was going to be. That was like a layup. So this next award, his preseason pick was pretty bad too. But right now, who do you think is going to get most improved?
I think it's going to be Tyrese Maxey.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of felt like it should have been Kobe White, but it's going to end up being Tyrese Maxey.
I think you can go either way with them, but I think Tyrese Maxey's going to get the edge because of that first-time All-Star nod. Because I feel like that award is basically just for people that are a first-time All-Star. Because we saw it when Ja won it. Like Desmond Bane was super deserving, and Ja even gave him the award. But Ja got that first-time All-Star nod, and then that was enough to just hand it over to him. So
yeah.
I don't remember what mine were, but his pick for that was Jordan Poole, which great pick in theory. Just didn't. Yeah, I see you laughing at that. Didn't go too well.
Yeah, I don't remember who I had as most improved. I probably. I don't know. I probably had. Actually, no, I had Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah, I was about to say. I think that's who I had too.
I thought Halliburton was going to be my guy, but he kind of fell off at the end of the year.
It's all right. You know, he's ready for the playoffs. He's going to keep the game ball this time against the Bucks. It'll be all sunshine and rainbows.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I have an interesting take on this, but who do you think is going to be Defensive Player of the Year?
I don't know. It should have been Wembanyama, but it's going to be Rudy Gobert. So
I'm thinking the same thing. Because if you look at Wemby's stats, he has like more blocks than like everybody in the entire league. And you see guys like the other night, they were on a 3-on-1 against Wemby, and they didn't even get a shot off because they were just so intimidated by him.
Yeah, but they're not going to give it to him because they're a rookie.
So I think MVP, I think this is the closest it's been in a long time. And I think we know who like the 3 finalists are going to end up being. We got Jokic, SGA, Luka. So what are you thinking? Who's going to get the edge out of those 3?
Yeah, Jokic. I think Jokic should have won it last year, and I don't know. I think he's the best player in the NBA, and when there's not like a clear cut MVP choice in the NBA, I feel like the best player in the league should just get the award by default, in my opinion. So I think it should be Jokic.
I think that's obviously like super valid. Like Jokic is just all he is just dominance. He's healthy and he's dominant. The 2 things you look for in an MVP. But I think I'd give it to Shea because the Thunder didn't even make it to the playoffs last year, and now they're the 1 seed. Now, obviously, Chet playing helped that a ton, but Shea dropping like 31 every game, that's a huge boost in him just being able to take over like he does, be clutch like he does. I think that should net him league MVP. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I feel like you can go either way. I mean, and all 3 of those guys are deserving of the award. So you can honestly go either way, and it'll probably be the correct answer. So I'm not really concerned about that. I am sad that Tatum wasn't the MVP though, because that was my pick in preseason. So.
Yeah, same. I was on the Jason Tatum MVP talks for those like 2 weeks that it was happening, and then I forget who they played, but he had like an all-time disaster class for somebody, and then those talks just went away.
That's fine. I don't really care. I don't care about in-season awards. Just worry about winning Finals MVP.
Yeah, I like that. He's got to get both the Celtic awards this year, the Larry Bird one and the Bill Russell one. I'll take that any day.
Oh, yeah.
And then
Same.
Big thing that the Celtics express, other than Mazzulla ball threes, is defense. I saw that for like the all defensive like selections, the voters have 5 different Celtics they can pick between: White, Holiday, Brown, Tatum, Horford. How many you think are going to make it? How many should? Like, what are we thinking here?
I think 2 will make it. I think Holiday and White will end up making it.
Mm-hmm.
I think Jaylen Brown should be in the conversation, but I don't think he's going to end up making it. And Tatum and Horford are good defenders, but they're not going to make it either. Okay. But yeah, I think Derek White for sure is going to make at least one of the teams, and I think Drew Holiday is on the bubble, but I would still have him on all defensive team over like anybody else. So
I think D White, I think he's got to be a lock for all defensive first team. Like he led guards and blocks by at least like 10 or something like that. He averaged a block a game, so like whatever. I forget how many games he played, but that's like 60 at least. And like he's like as good of a shot blocker as D Wade was. Like you don't get a good shot blocking guard a lot, and D Wade was one of those guys, and now you see D White as one of those guys.
Exactly. Yep, I agree. I had Derek White first team all defense, and I had Holiday second team, just because if you're kind of like on the bubble and you need like a last pick, I feel like Drew Holiday could be that guy that ends up winning it.
Do you think there's like any guys that could be like, I don't know, like a sneaky good player in these playoffs, like a Caleb Martin last year? I know it's a tough subject, Caleb Martin, but like we saw him, what he did against the Bucks, what he did against the Knicks, and then what he did against the Celtics. Do you think there's going to be another guy like that, and if so, who?
I don't know. I was thinking about that. If Orlando goes far, I could see Jalen Suggs being that guy.
I love that pick.
I don't know why.
I love that pick.
It just feels like, I don't know, it feels like it could be Jalen Suggs. I feel like he's kind of due for it. So hopefully it doesn't happen to the Celtics, but if Orlando wins in the first round, I feel like it'll be because of Jalen Suggs having a really great series.
I think Suggs' defense on Donovan Mitchell is going to be like a huge factor in that Cavs series. And that defense could go so well as Donovan Mitchell doesn't resign and he gets traded. So who knows how that'll go. But, you know, that's a problem for the offseason. We got the playoffs to worry about here. So if there's like what's like the team in the East you're like worried about the most when it comes to the Celtics?
The Celtics themselves.
I think that's the right pick. I was thinking you were going to say like Milwaukee or something. No, that's the right pick.
I mean, I hate to say it because obviously you can't take any competition for granted, but I feel like the Celtics have maybe the easiest like cakewalk to the Eastern Conference Finals and maybe even the finals, depending on who they play in the Eastern Conference Finals. So, like, if they don't do it this year, then I don't know what they do. But I guess you always have to say Miami, because until they actually prove that they can beat them, then they're still going to beat you every time. Obviously Milwaukee because of Giannis, but we don't really know how Giannis is going to be health-wise. Orlando could be a problem depending on, you know, how good Banchero is going to be in the series. And
I think
I'm not really scared of anybody else, honestly. I mean, Philly maybe, but I'm not really concerned about Joel Embiid. So, but yeah, I'd probably say those three are probably the biggest competition to the Celtics outside of themselves.
And my co-host Will has finally entered the building. Will, we have 2 mics you have to put on to get set up, and you'll be able to hear Ian right away. So put this one on under your shirt, and then put the headset on. You'll be good to go. Perfect. So Ian, we just saw the other day that the Team USA roster came out, and it's like dream team level. We got LeBron, KD, Tatum, Steph, Booker, all these guys. What do you think like the average margin of victory is going to be in the Olympics this year when it comes to Team USA?
I don't know. I don't think it's going to be a blowout every single game, but I do think that Team USA is going to be pretty dominant, if I had to guess. So I'm pretty excited to watch the Olympics this year.
All right, so Ian, here is the man, Will.
Ian, how's it going? Can you hear
Good.
me?
How are you?
Good. Hey, I apologize for running late. I'm repainting my basement that just flooded right now, so we're running a little bit late. Phone wasn't charged, but I appreciate you taking the time to come on the podcast.
No problem, man.
I'm sure Tyler was holding it down while I was running a little bit late.
You could say that.
Oh yeah, you got it.
So, well, we were just talking a lot of like Celtics postseason, all that stuff, and Ian's saying he's not really worried about. He says the team that he's most worried about when it comes to Celtics is the Celtics themselves.
Yeah.
So what do we think about that?
I mean, that's pretty much nailed it. That's what I've been saying the whole time. I mean, the Celtics. This has to be the year, right? On paper, it has to be the year that they get it done. I mean, you know, you go out, you trade Marcus Smart, you get Porzingis, you get Drew Holiday from Malcolm Brogdon. you make all the championship moves. You don't hang on to maybe some of the fan favorites like Marcus Smart. I know Brogdon was only here a year, but still 6th man of the year.
And we go got Robert Williams
exactly, too. Yeah. So this has to be the year that they get it done. I don't think there's any more excuses for the Celtics. There's no more, oh, this guy's hurt, or this and that, or, oh, we'll give him another year. This has to be the year that Tatum goes out and wins a ring.
I agree.
I want to pivot a little bit because Will's huge on this. So the Pats obviously have the 3rd pick in the draft this year, right? Who do you want them to take, and who do you think they'll take?
I don't know. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not big onto like college sports and like kind of like following college quarterbacks and stuff. Right, but from just everything that I'm seeing, I kind of want him to take Drake May. I feel like that would be a cool pick. And if Washington ends up taking him, then I feel like Jaden Daniels will be really good. So I'm fine with either one. From what I've seen, I'm not really high on JJ McCarthy, but I mean, you never know.
We aren't fans of JJ McCarthy over here either.
Yeah, and it's not even that we're not fans of him. It's just like it's so obviously just feels like a Zach Wilson, like Mac Jones kind of pick where he kind of blows up in the draft process. I was pretty anti Drake May for a while, but I like the idea of having him sit behind Jacoby Brissett for like a year, maybe half a season, and have him develop. I also really like Jaden Daniels. I wouldn't mind Marvin Harrison either. Really, I think there's no way that the Patriots can mess up this pick if they go offense. This feels like a very kind of safe offensive draft if you do it right. But, it's a part of the rebuild. We got to get there eventually with a quarterback, whether that's this year or in the following. Who knows? But, I'm excited to see what the Patriots end up doing.
Same. I'm very excited.
So, Ian, a team that's not doing so hot in Boston right now is the Red Sox. And I saw you've been there the past couple nights. You were actually there for Bayo bobblehead night. And I saw you had a tweet. I saw you had a tweet that says this Bayo bobblehead has so much aura. Do you think Bayo's got that same aura in person?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm around like the Worcester area, so like I'm always at Worcester Red Sox games in the AAA team. I've seen Brian Bayo in AAA, and I knew he was going to be really good. So I don't know. I'm a big fan of Brian Bayo, and I'm happy that they were able to extend him. And I think he has real potential to be like, even if he's not the ace of the staff, he can still be the number 2, pitcher on his team. I'm really high on Bayo. I think he's really good.
Because right now I want justice for Cutter Crawford because 5 shutout innings yesterday, and then the
bullpen. Oh, trust me, I love Cutter. Trust me.
He's nasty. It's just the bullpen absolutely sold him yesterday.
Yeah, that was not fun watching, but Cutter's so good.
How about that Trevor Story injury too? That is just the pinnacle of his career. It feels like at this point.
Yeah, Trevor Story injury was tough. I didn't really know what to expect when they first signed him in the first place, but it just kind of feels like he's just perennially had bad luck ever since he's been here. So
yeah,
but yeah, that injury kind of felt like it kind of like killed the optimism like a week into the season.
It was another guy where it felt like, this is where the Red Sox get better. They have Trevor Story coming back, and then not even 20 games in, he's hurt again. So very unfortunate. I mean, the Red Sox feel like a team who can always go out and develop talent, and it feels like they've kind of become the farm for the other teams to poach. Historically, I feel like that's what we've done to other teams. But I mean, how do you feel about the Sox going forward? They started off hot. Obviously, it's been a fall off since then. Should we be worried? Is this what we expected? How do you feel?
I will say that I didn't expect them to be as good as they were to start the season. It does suck that their defense is still as bad as it was last year, and that's going to be their biggest problem. But honestly, I think once June hits, you could see them be even better. You can see them rallying off probably a long winning streak at some point because the offense is going to get going eventually. And if the pitching stays at the level it's been in the beginning of the year, then I think they got a chance to, be in the wild card hunt until the end of the season. But, it'll just be depending on if they can actually make a routine ground ball for once.
That's a big thing to mention, too. The pitching, I will say, has been way better. I feel like that was the biggest, or one of the biggest flaws the Red Sox had last year. Didn't have any consistent pitching. Sale was always hurt. And now you move on. And pitching's been pretty good so far this year. It's just, like you said, the defensive side just needs to make a ground ball play every now and then, and we'll be good. But I think it's brighter for the Red Sox than people would think, which I think you were kind of alluding to as well.
I think one more thing that sucks for the Sox is that their ace that they signed in the offseason, Giolito, literally got injured in spring training. So it's
tough.
The injuries in Boston right now aren't the best.
Yeah, they're not too great.
Nope.
So, Ian, there is another good thing about the Sox right now, at least the Worcester Sox. Marcelo Mayer is finally fully healthy. Do you think we see him get called up at some point this year? Or do you think he's going to play out the whole year in minors?
I think he plays the whole year in the minors just because last year he didn't play a whole lot. I mean, unless he just absolutely scorches the earth in Double A and Triple A this year, then I really don't see him getting called up. Worst case scenario, the Red Sox are completely out of the race in September. And then, maybe they'll look at him and be like, oh, he's still scorching it up in the minors. So we might as well bring him for the last 10 games of the season like they did with Rafaela. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with him, but I don't really see him getting up here before the end of this season.
I don't think he's ready. Truthfully, I'm with you there. I don't think he's kind of ready to make that jump yet, unless like Ian said, he lights it up in the minors, and then why not give him a chance? But I don't see him being ready for at least another year.
So we saw Rafaela get extended the other day. We saw Bayo get extended last offseason. When is Casas going to get extended? Because I feel like that's the thing they need to do most right now. You don't look too happy about this.
I agree. I don't really know. I don't really know when the extension is going to come. I feel like I at least I hope that they're going to try their best to get an extension for him. But they still have time. He still has a whole bunch of years left in arbitration and stuff. So even if it doesn't happen this season, I feel like eventually they will find a way to keep him, because if they end up letting him go, then that would be a huge mistake.
So this is probably the most important Red Sox question I've asked yet. Combined, how much do you think Duran and O'Neill bench?
Combined, I don't know.
I
feel like they could have. I've seen O'Neill. They could probably bench. I don't know, at least got to be over 800 combined, right?
Wow, all right. That's a respectable answer.
I'm loving that right now. O'Neill and Casas are basically looking like Manny and Big Papi again. It's that light that the Red Sox need, even though. And then we got Mini Pedro in the rotation. So hopefully we can get some magic going with the Sox, but who else knows what's going to be there?
But yeah, I mean, O'Neill got hurt yesterday, but they said he's going to be fine. So I'm hoping he can, he's not, too banged up.
That was an unfortunate sight to see him and Devers just run into each other. I think Devers is fine, right? I think O'Neill's the one that's more shaken up after that.
Yeah, I think O'Neill got stitches. He got 8 stitches after the collision, after the game. So, but I mean, they said he was fine. So,
I hope Devers can start to get it going soon, because when Devers bats hot, the Red Sox are usually playing pretty good.
Exactly, with Casas in the rotation too.
Mm-hmm. So, we don't really talk about the Bruins much around here, but what do you think about them going to the postseason? Obviously, it can't get much worse than it did last year.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, I'm kind of on that same thing. It can't be worse than last year. It'll be interesting to see what they do. As good as they have been this year, I don't think they have much expectations in the playoffs. So if they make a deep run, I feel like it'll be surprising in a way, but it'll also be pretty cool to see. Do I expect them to win the cup? I don't really think so, but if it does happen, then cool. Yeah, then maybe they'll get 2 parades.
Just another parade.
You'll catch me at the parade if they do. So, the Bruins didn't have the best end of the season. Obviously, they lost some close games. They lost every game this year that went to overtime, which is really unfortunate. Do you think that's gonna affect them when it comes to the playoffs? If games are heading down to the wire, then they just can't finish?
I hope not. I hope that doesn't become a problem, but I feel like it definitely could. It could cause a problem if they are in that situation. But that's pretty much it. They gotta. It's going to be interesting to watch because they pretty much have to turn it on now. It's the playoffs. Like they gotta be the best versions of themselves heading into the rest of the season.
Because the only reason I know so much about hockey now is because in Will and I's town, hockey is like the sport.
Yeah,
in Marshfield's always like a top team in Division 1. Everybody loves hockey around here. Basketball gets mad disrespect, but that's okay.
It's true. No, it's true though.
I'm a big advocate for basketball over hockey because I was a basketball player myself.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like I grew up watching hockey, but it wasn't like I kind of stopped watching hockey a little bit, even though I grew up watching it.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of got more into basketball and baseball and football and stuff, but I still watch the Bruins from time to time if they're on when the Celtics aren't playing. So
I feel that. That's kind of the same way that I feel like I watch Bruins games. It's like, oh, they're on. Celtics have an off night. Might as well.
Oh, yeah.
Tyler, how much did you guys talk playing?
A lot. We talked
a lot.
We talked all
predictions for tonight too. All right, that was my next question.
Ian, I have a big one for you. So everything, like your biggest thing online is your videos after Celtics games. Where did you get the idea to use the song by Polo G, and when did you get the idea to make that as a video?
So it started in quarantine. It started in the bubble. It was like the game after the Celtics beat 76ers game 1. And I don't really know why I did it, but I thought it was a good idea at the time, and it did pretty well compared to any other video that I posted at the time. So I said, hey, why not do it for every game at this point? And it did pretty well, and it's kind of led to this. And I never expected it to get that big as it did, but it just kind of happened randomly, and it's still going to this day. So, but yeah, it was nothing like too crazy. Like I didn't expect it to, I didn't expect to be doing that, but it just kind of kept going and it kept finding success. So I said, if it's not broke, then why stop, right?
Exactly. I was very happy to stumble upon those videos because your TikTok has become like one of my personal favorites. With one of my favorite videos was people who cooked the Celtics. Because you had 80 people, and they were all just extremely valid.
Yeah.
The Celtics get cooked by a lot of people. It's very important.
It is true. A young Devin Booker for 70. It's just it happens. It does happen. I like how you said that you just kind of made the first TikTok, which has become an icon for you. You just kind of made it, didn't think much of it. As someone who also posts a lot on social media, I feel like that's always the video that blows up, right? It's the one that you put a little bit of effort into, but you're just like, oh, it'll be funny, and then it blows up, and you're just like, oh, okay. I had one a year ago where it was it was someone going through a tunnel and then going to Zion National Park, but they just said Zion, and then I was just like, oh, I thought Zion Williamson was gonna come up. Woke up and it had 500,000 views, and I was like, of course, that's the one. You know what I mean? It's always funny what blows up on TikTok nowadays.
So Ian, we're approaching our normal time of 45 minutes.
Yeah.
We just want to say thank you so much for coming on the show. I'll get us both in the shot right here.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. And I don't know. That's kind of the thing.
Huh? That's it.
I'm sorry.
We want to say thanks for coming on the show. This was easily the coolest collab we have ever done.
100%.
This pod started off as just us having an idea when we were doing a film crew one day, and it turned into us doing it once a week to doing it in this big studio to putting it on YouTube. So having you come on is just a step in the right direction for us, and we are eternally grateful.
Oh yeah, I'm happy to help, man. I'm glad that I was able to come on for you guys, and I hope you guys keep finding success.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. Sorry I came so late, but I do enjoy your videos. You seem like a really cool dude, so I appreciate you coming on and talking to us.
So,
no problem, guys. Anytime.
This pod's going to be on YouTube Friday at 5 p.m. I'll send you the link, everything when it's up, and it'll be great. And I look forward to seeing you at the GRD watch parties for away games. I plan on one of those this year. So thank you for coming on. Ian.
I'll be at a few.
We appreciate you. Have a good day, man.
Hey, no problem. Have a good one.
Bye.
Thanks, Ian. All right.
Shout out to Ian, bro.
That was awesome. I wish I got to talk more Celtics with him. with a play-in, but
such a chill guy.
Yeah, no, he seemed like a really cool dude.
So, Will, how was the morning today?
It honestly, all right. So my phone was just dead overnight, right? And then woke up this morning. You can see in the shorts, I've been painting downstairs. You probably saw in the walk up too. My basement flooded, those who don't know. So we're redoing the whole thing. We're painting. And then I finally was like, oh, let me plug my phone in. And then it was immediately they text me like, hey, are you coming? And I'm like, oh my God. Sent it over.
Did you see how many times I called you?
Yeah, I did.
I texted your brothers too.
Really?
Just no answer. It is what it is.
That makes sense.
Dude, editing that in post is going to suck because I got a lot of notifications. I should have turned on Do Not Disturb.
I know.
That's a rookie mistake by me.
Hey, it happens. That was fun, though. It was cool to see, a guy who you see a lot on TikTok and actually talking to him about Boston sports was exciting.
Super humble dude, too.
Oh, yeah, 100%, yeah. I do love he talked about like I just kind of did it like the TikTok.
Absolutely,
that's all I'm telling you. That's always what happens, man. It's always a video. Like for me, I spent a lot of years actually posting like edits that I put a ton of time into, like trying to time up music to stuff, and it was like Celtics edits and everything like that. Put them on TikTok, couple thousand views, and then the one I make as a joke just kind of like takes 15 seconds. Ends up, I think now it's at like 1.2 million views. It's insane, like what happened.
There we go.
But of course, it's that one. So that was funny to hear. But
so, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you very much for listening to this very special episode of PTP. I'm sorry Will couldn't be here. When your house floods, you got to get to work. Thank you so much for listening. We hope to have more awesome guests in the future, like Ian today. Everyone stay safe and have a great rest of your week. We're filming this on Tuesday, so that's why we say rest of the week.
Rest of the week, yeah. Have a good weekend, I guess.
Yeah, have a great weekend. We'll see us Friday at 5.
Peace.
Have a good day, everyone.